This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and I'm with Emily Dean, and I'm with the Cockerel. I've just got rid of your real name altogether now.
That's me. We met some people in the Pleasance Courtyard the other day that said, can we... quite a few people wanted pictures with you, but it was quite a nice moment when someone said, can we get the Cockerel in as well?
That was lovely.
I was pleased. It's nice to have a moniker, isn't it?
Yeah, luckily I was wearing a leather falconry gauntlet. So Alun just straddled my wrist for the photo.
I perched, didn't I?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I soon brought him in with I swung a bit of bacon. I love the swinging back. The fact, the idea that a hawk would see a bit of circling bacon and think, it's moving into pigs will fly territory. So we're in Edinburgh. The Pleasance, in case you're wondering where that is a famous hanging out spot in Edinburgh. And I've been doing a lot of hanging out this week.
Have you?
Because Alun, he remained. He's working at the moment, aren't you?
I am. I'm offering my little show, 6:50 p.m. at the stands.
Oh my God!
Since you asked.
You've done a. I know it's commercial radio, but let's not wallow in the mire.
Okay.
It's got a bit Paul Daniels plugging Bobby Crash, which more later.
I think that's gossip, isn't it? And Emily had to go back down to London, of course, because she's got a day job in the fashion industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she works in those shops with the big swathes of material. Are they swathes? Are they called swathes? Have I made that up?
Is it
No, swathes will do.
Is it
swathes will do.
Yeah, Poland Street, is it?
Yeah.
Loads of them on.
There is. I love the idea of going into a shop and there's just rolls of material to choose from. So you don't even choose a garment. You start at the brass tacks of it. Love
I
it.
used to go to Dewsbury Market and my mum bought fabric.
I wonder what you were going to say then. I thought I was going to slap your face then for a second. Oh, God, I've started off my heart thumping already. If you want to text us about anything, we are available on 8, 12, 15, and we always love to hear from you people because you are... I think of the listeners to this show as a very heartbeat of it. I don't mean in a Nick Berry kind of a way. I mean in all that kind
We've
of
had
way.
a text already, Frank, on 8, 12, 15.
Tremendous news. What is it?
Frank, do you live in the same building as John Prescott, by any chance?
It's a bit of a personal question. Is that John Prescott trying to find his way home?
He's had a heavy night.
Yeah, could you tell me the address of it, please? I'm drunk and in an alley in Soho.
That's from 491?
I will own up. I do live in the same.
Oh, do you actually?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I do.
How exciting.
I'll probably find that's just a terrorist just doing a bit of homework.
That you should not have brought.
Yeah.
Extraordinary couple of targets.
I'd get a politician, a comedian with one swish of the cane. So,
Frank,
nice
can I
little
just say-
metaphor there for blowing people up. Carry on.
Frank and I have enjoyed, Frank. I was looking forward to coming back and seeing you because I rather like. We've got a very good domestic setup, Alun, in Edinburgh.
Oh, we have.
I washed Frank Smalls yesterday.
Yeah, that was. I didn't anticipate that. I asked. It was a general query about washing up powder. I didn't think there would be an offer. I wasn't probing for help.
I didn't hear you saying no.
No,
They came up lovely, immaculate.
Well, they're still. They haven't complete. It was very odd because Lisa, our producer, we spoke about last week on the. I can't remember in what context. I think I might have mentioned your hair because my girlfriend said I don't think you should refer to Liesel's hair. That's a sensitive subject for any woman.
Oh,
Right.
But she didn't mind the story about Liesel kissing you on the mouth.
No, she was fine with that. I think she said, I have to, Liesel, but you. I'm running out of smalls, basically. I'm talking about pants, really. I never take a daily ration when I'm away.
Right.
I think if I'm going away for 15 days like this trip, I'll take 8, and I think I'll wash them somewhere. Mm-hmm. Otherwise,
Somewhere? What, a brook somewhere?
Sometimes I'll select a brook, if there's one about. But anyway, I was running out, and Emily said, "Oh, I'll wash those for you." And I was a bit uneasy about her handling my smalls. And then Liesel said, "Oh, and I'll hang them up to dry for you."
Well, that was less of a surprise, let's be honest.
Well, I must say, I mean, it was borderline sexism, but I didn't ask for any of it, so I just let it play through.
I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm welling up here. Team effort.
It was like being a Viking chieftain for a day. I imagine they wore smalls of some animal hide.
Yeah.
You think?
And I imagine the women folk cleaned and dried them, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Frank...
Do you think they had the two horns? It's a big question. I meant over the space of 24 hours, obviously. They were busy men. A lot of carrying, a lot of people they had to carry about with them. So anyway, we're in Edinburgh and we're having a splendid time. And perhaps the inspirational moment of the week for me was when a man came up to me, middle-aged man in a public house in Edinburgh, and said to me, "Oh, I listen to your Absolute Radio show while I'm at work." And I said, well, that's really nice. I really appreciate that. And he said, he says, passes the time.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're already getting texts in from our listeners on 81215.
Yeah.
We've just had one in extraordinary from 714. Say hi to Tash and Jazz for me. They are bored, stuck in the car on our way to Kent. Thanks, from Liz. Tash and Jazz.
Say hello to... They're on our way to Kent.
Yeah.
So this is a person who's in the car with them.
I assume so. Why doesn't this person entertain them? Why should we have to do the work?
Is the engine particularly loud in that car that they have to send messages through the radio?
It's an old diesel.
Yeah. What I'd suggest is that you reinvent the old tap on the shoulder routine. It's so popular for the passenger in cars if you want to have a chat.
Yeah.
Also, I worry about Jazz. Jazz sounds a bit louche.
Yeah, I mean, is Jazz... No one was ever christened Jazz, was
Well, exactly.
No.
So he's obviously a bit of a colourful character. I'm imagining it as someone with a goatee and some sort of beret.
A beret.
Probably been out all night blowing some notes. God, everyone held their breath there for about a second, but everything was all right.
God, I don't think I've been as tense since Paul Daniels.
Yeah, we went to see Paul Daniels yesterday live on stage.
That was extraordinary.
It was an exciting... well, we should talk about that later.
I
think it needs to be put in its own special gold frame. We don't want it to just
to be put somewhere.
Slip into conversation.
That's what he did with the syrup. Talking of syrup,
I must say that the Cockerel has expressed quite a bit of shock that Emily and Liesl dealt with my smalls yesterday. I was surprised.
Dealing with is a good way of putting it. No, can I just say, as I say, they were immaculate. I was really impressed.
Right,
thanks. Well, on the way in, they were saying...
I don't Frank.
Yeah, but if I would never in a million... If you'd have said to me, I have to wash my smalls, I would never in a million years say, oh, I'll do them.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the implications are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sharing with a fellow male comic, and so far we have not washed each other's underwear this festival.
Really?
No, I did have a little telling off of him. I said, could you wash up? The kitchen's a bomb site. Could you could you actually do the dishes?
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I
took a firm tone.
I think it's all right to have a... See, when I lived with David Baddiel, I used to stand in the sink and he used to rub me down with a flannel. If I hadn't got time for a bath.
Different times, weren't they?
There were different times. People, I don't know, people now, they want to point a finger all the time.
Frank's got a lovely slobbing out outfit, though. I love it.
Oh, have you got some kind? Nice,
it's a stripy harem pant.
Yeah, it's very ethnic. I bought them in Istanbul.
I love them. It's a stripy harem pant teamed with a nude ankle sock and then some sort of Henry Kissinger specs.
Yeah,
a nude ankle sock.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's hard to describe, really.
Nude is a collar rather than
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So they're flesh coloured.
All right. Yeah.
I'm trying to pretend to the outside world I'm not wearing socks at all.
Why? In your own home? Or in your...
Because I like the idea of going barefoot more than I like the reality of it.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Peugeot who said that the reality is even better than the dream, but they weren't talking about ankle socks.
No.
Almost certainly. So yeah, ankle sock, and then there's quite an expanse of calf, and then my ethnic pants begin.
Yeah.
And they are voluminous.
What, so they're sort of shorts, or are
No. They're the sort of thing that one might imagine Alibaba travelled about in.
Oh, like an MC Hammer type.
Yeah,
pants.
very.
You can't touch them.
I'd say they're borderline pantaloon.
So you wouldn't even wash them should the moment arise.
No, I think I'd keep them on, and she'd have to use a power hose. It's a lot of material as well. Because I was holding them out at the sides.
I noticed.
Yeah, and I bet you, I mean, my overall trouser span, when I hold them out at the sides, I bet is 4 feet.
All right. Rather than washing them, you just need to hire some of those people that come and clean curtains, don't you? You know, with the little hoovers.
Well, they don't really get dirty because they don't really touch me, except at the point of elastication. After that, they're out on their own.
There's 2 contact zones.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I was just talking about my hanging out in the flat attire. You're probably wondering what Miss Emily Dean wears. Perhaps some of our male listeners. I must say, I've never really thought of pyjamas as elegant.
Oh.
I mean, I have pyjamas at home, but mine's the old-fashioned candy stripe.
Oh, nice.
But Emily wears some of the nicest PJs I've ever seen. She's got some.
Frank, it's the nicest thing he's ever said to me.
They're black with a gold piping. Am I right?
Very Hefner.
Yeah, but I love that the piping. They're pseudo-military.
Oh, really?
If you live in, Toyland. Yeah, really stylish though.
Any epaulets are we talking?
No quality
You
street
couldn't-
detail.
You couldn't sleep on an
Not on a
epaulet.
pyjama. Well, some people
No.
don't sleep in their pyjamas, though, do they? I've got pyjamas that I never sleep in.
What do you do with them?
Oh.
I just pad around the house in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got you marked down as a padder.
I haven't padded. I mean, mostly I don't pyjama. Mostly I
He's
go,
only got his claws, to be
I
fair.
go football shorts and a t-shirt. I'm that guy around the house.
Liesl just wears a one-piece swimsuit,
Is that right?
and
I've heard it either.
and Miss Thurrock 1998 sash, lovely satin sash.
Nice.
We haven't even mentioned it.
Until now.
Oh, she has I come at breakfast. She was sitting with a bejewelled sceptre.
Oh, nice.
It was a lot. I felt I'd walked in mid-ceremony, but no, it's just.
I was worried you weren't so keen on my florals, Frank.
Oh.
Well, your floral pyjamas are a bit more cash, but still lovely.
Oh,
I bet they're a
bit more
design.
Bessie-
I bet they're a designer label, aren't they?
Bit more Bessie Draper, Mad Men. Bit more Surrendered Wife is the
Right.
look with the floral pyjama.
Surrendered wife.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I've fully got that.
No,
Okay.
is that like
It's okay.
put upon?
Have a, yeah.
Is it a put upon? Push
John
upon.
Prescott, of course, he just wears a blue crushed velvet catsuit split to the waist. He'll wear a white sneaker, but it's depends on the heat. We've established I live in the same block of flats as John Prescott.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I went to see Ian M. Banks interviewed at the Edinburgh Book Festival the other night. Ian M. Banks is a sci-fi writer.
That's right, and Ian Banks is the same writer, but non-sci-fi, isn't it?
Yes.
It's nice that he puts the M in so that people don't accidentally buy the sci-fi books if they...
You could
dislike.
argue it's a profoundly anti-sci-fi statement, he's saying.
Well, I've met him once, and he's one of those ones that has a real bugbear when people say they don't like sci-fi, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of sci-fi and a lot of different variations within the umbrella that comes under sci-fi, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, I love a sci-fi umbrella.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got one with Robbie on from Forbidden Planet. It's beautiful. It lights up at night. Anyway, Alex Salmond, I would say, it's the first time I've ever seen him in the flesh. He's a very good edit of John Prescott.
Oh.
He looks like someone has got John Prescott and just cleaned him up
Oh, really?
considerably. Yeah, and giving him Botox and stuff.
It's taking the best bits.
Yeah. But even Alex Salmond is still a bit. He's very big faced, very big, and the
Right.
lower half of his face is enormous. He needs a trim. He looks like he's been printed off, but they were supposed to trim around the jawline. They've left the excess on. But I must say, he was brighter and funnier than the average English politician.
I've heard
Scots
that about
people,
him.
very well educated.
I'm only saying that because Doug, the engineer here at Fourth Radio, has been looking at me very pensively when I've talked about Alex Salmond, so I thought I'd better say he looks like a man who could take out a gnarled walking stick at any moment and hit me with it. Or maybe he has a knife in his sock.
That is part of the culture here, Frank.
Yeah, you see, I can't wear them with my ankle.
Your nude anklets.
My little... what is the name for those socks? They're sort of
Pop
trainer socks, I believe.
Pop
Yeah.
socks, I think.
They're not pop
No,
socks.
they're not pop
They
socks.
sound like pop socks.
I'd be happy in a pop sock. I wish I could carry one off.
No.
Whereas Simon Cowell, he could tell. We also went to see Simon Cowell. We must do some show reviews
Yeah.
because we have much to tell about the things we've seen. Some wondrous, some awful. You guess. If you want to text us, we're on 812 15. And you know what? It's a good place to be.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So we've talked a lot about our flat and our goings on. What about
your domestic bliss?
What about the Cockerell's home life in Edinburgh?
About the roost.
Well, I'll tell you this. I did a whitewash yesterday, and
a whitewash? What are you living in, an outhouse?
I washed some white shirts.
Oh, sorry, I think you meant you'd whitewash the...
No, I went out and painted the stoop. I'm in 50s America.
Yeah. How is the stoop? Is it well maintained, or is it one that's been allowed to dwindle?
Right. It's a flat that I'm in. It's nice, and it's nice enough. It's confusing though. Like I say, I did a whitewash. There's no soap powder in the flat. It's those eco balls. I'm not a big fan.
Well, I like an eco ball.
Do you?
It just seems I don't have to estimate amount then.
But you don't get a nice sort of fabric softenery smell, do you? You just get your clothes have been eco-balled. You don't get any nice. Oh, that's nice, and it smells clean. Anyway,
have you tried Lenore?
Haven't popped anything in. Haven't popped anything. Commercial radio. Wow, straight in with a brand new.
We'll probably find Lenore hasn't been on the market since the 1970s.
You bet I will turn up next week to a box of 24 of it. Anyway.
If there's anyone from Lenore listening, keep it. I'm going to stick you, Lenore. I don't want it.
Give with one hand and take away with
interfering with the cleaner. She uses Polish products. Or is it Polish?
I don't think you should talk of Emily and Liesl as the cleaner. It's not nice.
They've replaced the cleaner. It's been fabulous as
she's
a team.
Been jettisoned. But
that'd be worth seeing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's
the cleaner sort of shooting off into the... It's a bit what I would call a road to domestos experience. Anyway,
nearly worked.
So tell us about the roost.
Well, it's weird. It's like a lot of rental flats. It's strangely ill-equipped and strangely well-equipped. There's a cupboard absolutely full of laundry, of like linen, bedding, clean towels. But not a tea towel in the whole flat. So I was cooking the other day, went to reach for a tea towel to pick up a hot pan. None. And no...
Oh, what you need is an oven glove.
I did. I needed... Well, there's not an oven glove.
What you need is an assistant.
I do, yeah. Well, I was looking for my harem, but I haven't worked my way up the entertainment ladder that far.
If you want the harem, you got to wear the harem pants. That's my advice.
But yeah, nothing.
If you build it, they will come.
And my brother was here, and I made us an egg roll, and no ketchup, no sauce, nothing. And I realised that's a bit weird. And then I was speaking to another comic who brought his own soy sauce to Edinburgh with him for the month.
Excellent.
And it got me to wondering what would you miss for a whole month? What have you brought any condiments? Have you got condiments in?
When you say miss for a whole month, is your plan not to go and buy any of your own volition?
I haven't gone any. No.
You haven't gone out and got your own?
No.
I suppose it'd break your heart to leave half the ketchup back here.
I would take that home. I would definitely take that home.
Not half the ketchup bottle.
The Cockerell's careful.
Well, hang on. Frank Skinner is the one who boasted midweek that he'd bought 24 pencils for 99 pence.
No, but that was... they had erasers fitted. They weren't... That was brilliant. Honestly, I only went in to buy rubble bags. And
what were you going in for rubble bags for?
Oh, didn't I tell you? I raised our first flat to the ground in a rage. No. What happened is my girlfriend had to move flats for reasons of an infestation, which I might tell you about later on. And so she needed stuff to carry her stuff. So I said, rubble bags is what you want. That's the cheap and easy method.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and got those. But when I was in there, I saw a box of pencils, 99p. And I thought, can't be right, can it? Okay, it's a pound shop, but even in a pound shop, it's a knockdown price, 99p.
Yeah,
24. I thought...
What sort of lead are we talking now?
Well, I think it's probably... it's a bauxite derivative, admittedly. Right. But I would say there's a fair chance, if you consider my age and general lack of exercise, those 24 pencils will last me the rest of my life. I've probably bought my last pencil.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
In fact, we've had some texts in on 81215.
Ah, yes.
The Cockerel was talking about condiments that he missed while he was in Old Reekie.
Yeah, that he's refusing to replace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Text in 584, Frank and gang, I'd be lost without my bottle of Encona hot pepper sauce. I love it.
Oh yeah, some people love a hot pepper sauce.
I don't know the Encona thing.
It's a bit like a sort of a slightly thicker Tabasco, I suppose, like a hot pepper sauce.
So it's thick.
Yeah, but
It's not like
more
it's not like Ronnie Encona. Who used to work with Alistair.
I like when he's describing it, the Cockerel's doing a sort of Roux Brothers gesture with his hand, which I rather like. A Sousson gesture.
Are you a foodie, Alan?
No, well, I like food, but that does not make me a foodie.
But you're living. Is it coincidence that you're living above a sandwich bar?
Well, the fact that I'm living above a sandwich bar means that it's no coincidence I haven't bought any tomato sauce yet. That's the truth.
But you don't walk down there with an open sandwich and say, I couldn't have a quick squirt.
No.
Well, actually, I may have a solution for you, Cockerel, because 534 has a bit of secret Edinburgh tip. Has a secret Edinburgh tip here. Sourcegate. In the library bar of the venue, the Gilded Balloon, there's a secret cupboard filled with ketchup sachets.
Excellent. And normally I would have a moral problem with that because it is theft, but the Gilded Balloon did deliberately sell other shows above mine in 2006, so I'm quite happy to
fill your boots.
claw a bit back. A bit back. I'll be up there with some panniers on my bicycle full of sauce by the end of the week.
Yeah, grab a sachet. That's my advice. I'll tell you what, I couldn't... if I didn't have salt, I could probably. It means I couldn't have tomatoes. It's a domino effect. I couldn't eat a tomato without salt.
Oh, right.
There is no taste. A tomato is essentially a ball of tap water, flavour-wise.
Oh well, one of the TV chefs often talks about a really nice way to eat tomatoes is to put them sliced in the sunny window with some basil and pepper sprinkled on them.
In the sunny wind. Sun-dried tomatoes.
No, not sun-dried.
DIY
Just
version.
left warmed up. Like
Alan doesn't
DIY
like to buy them,
Oh,
Frank.
no, not warmed by the sun. That's like those... those
Nice.
all-you-can-eat things where the idea is that a light bulb is sufficient to keep food warm. Why not just put up a bacteria welcome here sign? No, when I eat a tomato, I put so much salt on it. It's basically just a salt ladle.
Oh,
It's got it looks like it's been iced.
oh, I'm not happy with this development.
Am I a bad person?
No, but it's an interesting...
Anyway, I think we were asking the Cochrane went unilateral and asked the audience what condiment couldn't you live without?
Yeah.
I like it.
Sauce
I'm
cake,
asking what continent couldn't you live without? I mean, for me, Australasia. I'll take it or leave it.
They can go, can't they?
Yeah.
What have they done? Nothing.
I feel I might be opening a very dark and terrible door here, so maybe I'm going to withdraw that.
Okay.
I should explain, if you've never been to the Edinburgh Festival, it's the sort of place where, I mean, the other day I saw 4 comedy shows and a play in a day.
Wow.
Now, if I was in London and somebody said to me, what are you doing on Wednesday? And I said, I'm seeing 4 comedy shows and a play. They'd say, what is it, a charity thing you have to do? You're going to be raced around town. But here, it's the norm. People go flat out.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like, it's like chain smoking. I went to see David Sedaris the other night with the American writer, with Emily Dean. And we left 15 minutes early so I could get to another show.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a sense of I can't be sitting in a show. I've got shows to go to.
You have to seize the baton.
I saw some walkouts that I thought were for another show the other day. Not of my own, I might add.
No, of course.
They walk out for an entirely different reason. But no, I saw some people that I thought were enjoying it turn on their heel and they were out. And I thought,
tell me about it.
I thought they've got other tickets.
Yeah, it's absolutely fun. So we've seen some shows. We saw
Callow.
We saw Simon Callow.
Yes.
Yes,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard things.
Yeah, he's doing a serious. I don't know if you know, not Simon Cowell, it's Simon Callow, right? This is the bloke from Pop Star to Opera Star who has the most actory voice.
And 4 Weddings.
And anyone's ever
Famously.
4 weddings.
Yeah, he was
That's
in
the
4
heart
Weddings.
attack.
I think it was 1 wedding and 3 civil partnerships. I could be wrong.
Got a touch of the Paul Daniels there.
I think I should, exactly. I love a touch of the Paul Daniels. That's just Debbie McGee, apparently. But not since about 1984.
Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, and we're in Edinburgh. See, I lost faith on the 3rd syllable.
Did you?
How often that isn't the story of my life. I don't know what is. We were talking about shows we'd been to see, and we just scratched the surface of Simon Callow.
Something I always like to do.
Yeah, he's doing a thing called Tuesdays at Tesco's, in which he plays a transvestite who was born Paul but became Pauline. Pauline! Me, myself. He does. I mean, he keeps the same voice.
He cracks out the dolly shoes.
He's got the same timbre, has he?
Oh, he's retained his timbre.
Yeah.
He's very resonant, isn't he? Very resonant.
I could feel it in the pit of my stomach. I mean, long after the show. Yeah, and so he wears high heels.
He wears heels.
He wears the
He's got a big calf on him, Frank.
The calf muscles.
The calf on the man.
I would love big calves.
No, but they're beautifully defined,
I
Simon
would love them.
Callow's.
I honestly would. I'm not even being ironic. I would genuinely love. It's one of my life's sadnesses that I've got very skinny lower leg.
Yeah, well,
Love
he's
it.
got.
Love a
I think I don't wish to be disrespectful to one of our finest actors, but he has a paunch.
Oh,
But I mean, he's
He's like
His
if full
calf
staff went to step classes regularly.
well, he's been doing exercise. Someone told me that he could climb trees without the use of his hands. And when I saw his calf muscles, I thought, well, I can believe it now. I mean, really, it's tremendous.
I mean, you have to wonder why. Why is he doing that? What's he got in his hands?
No, well, exactly. Yes. But he, unfortunately, one thing that the person who wrote the play didn't know is that the Pauline thing is something which has comedy resonances, because I think of Paul and Pauline calf.
Yeah.
Or Paul and Pauline calf muscle, as Simon Callow calls them. So it made it slightly ridiculous when you say, no, I am not Paul, I am Pauline. And the basic theme of the play is that if you're a transvestite, people stare at you in the street, and it's a trouble to your elderly parents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was groundbreaking.
No.
Well, the other thing, though, is what is groundbreaking is the fact that he spends an hour and 40 minutes in makeup.
Yes.
Which shocked me, I have to say, because how long does it take to put on an acrylic wig? A bit of blue eyeshadow.
What, you mean, that's not part of the play, that he's in an hour?
No,
and
I
40?
read that
Oh, you
prior to
read
going
that?
to see
Oh, I
it.
see.
He-
Right.
So I was
was,
expecting something special.
There was
Well, yeah,
research.
an hour and 40. They painted Lou Ferrigno green in 3 hours, apparently.
Did they?
They did, yeah. That was
I
the
think it
comment.
must be the prosthetic calf muscles to be fitted on there. I didn't think they were his. They look like they could be Madonna's. You know how Madonna looks like... I don't know if you've ever stripped cable. But you know when you get the entwined wires within cable, and that's what Madonna's arms look like. Well, there's the Callow calf.
He did a great stage departure, Frank, didn't he?
Yeah, it's hard to explain it on
No,
radio.
he blew us a kiss, though.
He blew a kiss, and then the hand that he sort of projected the kiss with, he kept aloft as he left the stage. So the blowed kiss became a wave.
Oh, I see, yeah. With a flick of the wrist. Nice.
It's not the campest thing I've ever seen, because I once was at a Shirley Bassey concert when she introduced Danny LaRue in the audience. And I, that's still my... That still is the bar, as far as I'm concerned. But it was quite calm. But, you know, he's a fabulous actor. And I laughed quite a lot.
Were you meant to?
No.
No,
Was it the Paul
no,
and
but
Pauline
I did a lot of that kind of schoolboy laughing.
He kicked me.
But it was great to see
Well, and then
the colloquium.
we raced off to meet the cockerel, didn't we, Frank?
We did, and then...
Because we had an appointment with Paul Daniels.
Yeah, we all went to see Paul Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, I think it's fair to say the lovely Debbie McGee, who I didn't even know was in the show. That was a bonus when she came out.
Lovely red satin dress.
Did you like that? I was wondering what...
I liked it. I thought she looked very nice, and, you know,
Yeah.
thanks be to Spanx.
She
Yeah,
got
she-
a big cheer.
I wonder what he was going to say then.
She got a big cheer on her entrance, so I was going to say.
did, yeah,
Thankfully,
Yes, she did. I'm not saying that the show was run on sexist grounds, but I thought it was interesting that she didn't have a microphone.
yes.
So all her stuff was just shouted into the abyss of the hall, whereas Paul Daniels boomed.
Yeah, he was
But
amplified.
he was entertaining, though.
Yeah.
Come with me.
I have an appetite for that sort of thing. I really like sort of front of the curtain mainstream entertainment, so I was quite giddy at certain points.
Yeah, and he did the usual thing. He sawed a rabbit in half and all that things that magician. Did he do that?
He didn't chop any rabbits up.
There was a rabbit in it.
Watch a different show. Did you nod off at some point?
No. I like when he got the rabbit out. He said, "I should pull this rabbit." He said, "I've bought this old hat with me," and I thought I wouldn't. If I was you, I wouldn't introduce the concept of old hat into the audience's minds. You've got to choose your phraseology very carefully. But I mean, I would, I'd recommend it. I enjoyed. As you say, it was a walk down memory lane, but he still got it.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I'll tell you what I was doing this week by way of strange entertainment. I was looking at, Optrex.
Oh.
The eye drops.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking at their website. Yeah, that's a sight for sore eyes.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a text in on 81215.
Okay.
This is from... Now, normally we just read the numerals out, but in this case I'm going to name-check the person because he says, "Hi, Frank, Bernie Clifton here. Heading south."
Heading south? I thought they couldn't fly.
He says, not a euphemism in any way.
Oh, okay.
I've seen lots of...
Oh, he's on form already.
He's on fire.
How exciting.
Clifton's on fire this morning.
Because in the past, Bernie Clifton has been ostracised.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Seen lots of great talent. Best for me, Ian de Montfort. P.S.
Okay.
Congrats to your Liesl, that's our producer,
Yes.
on her October 1st nuptials. No invite for us yet. And the location, Ipswich, Bernie C.
Well, I must say, first of all, it's a great honour to hear from Bernie Clifton.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And,
What's the connection?
Are you, I didn't know you had Cliftonian connections, Lisa.
What's the connection?
You don't? Oh, he's just turning up, is he? He's some sort of gate crasher. He's brazen with it, isn't it?
Bernie Clifton in the sequel to The Wedding Crashers.
A man's thumping at the door and an ostrich just comes in with Bernie on the back. And is he a relative?
No.
Friend?
Oh.
Come on.
Friend of my boyfriend's.
Friend of your boyfriend? Brilliant.
Oh.
Marrying into a showbiz dynasty.
Oh, and we ran into Jiminy Cricket's son-in-law yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. And Paul Daniels. All these things come in threes.
Yeah.
So that's October the 1st, the wedding.
We
Yeah.
met his son-in-law and he didn't even beckon us towards it.
No.
What a letdown.
He did tell a story that had "there's more" in it, though, didn't he?
He did.
I used to love Jimmy Cricket. I think he's really fun.
Oh, for pity's sake! Oh, sorry, that was my Simon. His dad was a character in the play, Simon Callow. And and he was like a Cockney, wasn't he? So he went, "Oh, for what are you doing, Paul? Pauline, father. No, I ain't calling you." It was fabulous. My father, who's from a 1948 black and white British movie, it was brilliant. Oh, Paul, what's going on? Well, anyway, I don't know if we can follow a Cliftonian contact, but that's brilliant.
We have got something, although just make a note, everyone, October the 1st for the wedding.
Yes.
So we'll wait for those invites.
Oh dear.
No, it doesn't have to be right.
Ironically,
I don't
Liesl's
wanna
got a
impact.
head in the sand about that. That's a little ostrich joke for you there.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Thanks very much.
Oh,
Didn't have the
first
confidence
class.
to just leave it there.
Frank, we've had another text in.
I'm trying to think of a suspense reference now for the Clifton Suspension Bridge. But I know we just don't have time for me to add the elements as if accidentally before I draw them all together.
We've had another text in. This is from 904. I agree with Frank. Tomatoes...
Have they put a name? 'Cause if they put a name, I'd like to know their name.
Of course. In this instance, there is no name.
Okay.
There's a simple K, actually, I've just noticed.
Oh,
just the one.
Oh,
it's okay.
Franz Kafka style.
Joseph K.
Yeah.
So this is from Joseph K. I agree with Frank. Tomatoes without salt is like bread without butter. Also, cold new potatoes dipped into a mini mountain of salt is just the best. By the way, Frank, you've spoilt my image of you this morning. I thought you were so famous that you'd have maids and butlers to look after you.
Well, that's incorrect.
Joseph K.
But it's interesting that you brought that up, Kay, because I had an act of, something happened to me this week, which was a disillusion of the First Order as far as a famous figure is concerned. I'm going to play one of my musical choices first, just to brace myself for this. I might need a glass of water, and perhaps I might need some flannel work from one of you two.
We are Absolute Radio, and right now you're listening to Frank Skinner's section of the broadcast.
Absolute Radio.
So the public figure who I'm referring to, who disillusioned me this week, is an Edinburgh legend.
Oh.
And what it was, I was walking towards Grassmarket, an area of Edinburgh, with Miss Emily Dean, and we passed the Greyfriars Bobby statue. Now, Greyfriars Bobby, as some of you might all know, was a dog who lived in Edinburgh, and his master, as they used to call them in those days, this was before democracy, his master...
That's still what I have to call you.
Before pet enlightenment.
Exactly. His master died, and Bobby refused to leave the graveside and stayed there.
14 years.
14 years he stayed there. And locals would come and say, Bobby, you might as well go, he's not there anymore. He's been dissolved by dog urine.
They didn't say that last part, Alan.
Well, that's inevitably what would happen. If a dog was on your grave for 14 years, there wouldn't be a bit of you left, would there? And I'm not even mentioning the dog Lime.
Frank, can I say...
I'm going to call it.
Doug's looking rather angry.
Yes, it's Scottish legend. No, he thought I said dog urine. Dog.
But no, Greyfriars Bobby has become a sort of symbol of loyalty, hasn't he?
Whenever I see that Greyfriars Bobby statue, there's a little statue, life size, of this dog. It's one of those dogs. It's a terrier of some kind. It's one of those looks like it's got a parting on its face.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of dog that is. Perhaps dog. What kind of dog is it? Dog.
No, I think you're right. Some kind of terrier.
Some kind of terrier.
It is a terrier. I can exclusively
Dog's
reveal.
being deliberately vague about it, and we'll find out why in a minute.
Do you want to know? He's a purebred Skye Terrier. Allegedly.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I did a 28-page...
Skye Terrier, but he's got a big dish.
Oh. I did a 28-page project on him when I was a child.
Did you?
I did.
Is there enough to say about Greyfriars Bobby?
I wrote very big.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I found a lot to say. He was one of my heroes. Which is why... the news that I discovered this week, I think I was shocked to the core, Frank.
Well, you haven't told me the full story yet,
Yeah.
but just intimating at it.
What did I say to you then?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to operate as a teaser here, because I have professional obligations. We'll come back to what I'm now calling the Greyfriars Bobby scandal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
We only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
Yeah, we were talking about Greyfriars Bobby, local legend up here, the terrier that slept on his
Skye Terrier.
Yeah, that lay on his dead master's grave for 14 years as a great symbol of loyalty.
Well, can I tell you what's now come to light? There was no deceased master. I'm saying that in quotes.
No deceased master, you say?
No, there was no deceased master. Apparently...
What, was he after bones?
Frank, a professor at Cardiff University, has discovered that it's now assumed that the whole thing...
I love it when the colonials are squabbling amongst themselves. The Welsh and the Scots. We just sit back.
It was a fabrication. If you like, an early PR stunt.
Oh.
The cemetery curator and a Victorian, I think he was like a restaurant owner, they cooked it up. They cooked this up.
The restaurant owner cooked it up. It's like the ploughman's lunch. It was invented in the 1980s as an advertising.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, Frank,
Ploughman, they didn't care for cheese, apparently.
Ploughman.
Yeah. You offer a ploughman pickle, he'd combine harvest you.
Oh, God.
No, but the
were,
dog
listen,
exist?
don't get me wrong. There were random strays all over the shop.
I'm sure.
But they happened to be in the graveyard, and I think they were opportunists and thought, let's pretend one of these is mourning for his master.
But did it stay on the grave for 14 years?
But they gave it food, yeah.
Oh, I see.
There was more than one Greyfriars Bobby, Frank.
What, you're kidding
You
me?
look really upset.
Like Skippy, when they used to be in sacks in the back of a 4x4.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so anyway, I didn't know the full story, but I did. Let's not call him Greyfriars Bobby. Let's call him Bobby Charlatan.
Yeah.
After the great England star of the 1950s, 60s.
I felt so upset after that 28-page project. I felt a bit like I felt when George Michael came out. It was a wasted youth.
Well, I haven't felt like this since the Hitler Diaries. That is a shocker. And
Yeah.
see, I always thought as well, where was the wife?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Because if it would have been
Inside washing the smalls.
it would have been a different story, though, wouldn't it, if it had been like Greyfriars Karen? Some woman who lay there for 14 years, filthy, in her own mire. Karen, go home, he's dead. Get on me! Don't touch me! You know, it wouldn't have had that lovely story. You don't want a statue of some sort of clawing, mad, homeless woman reaching out at you violently in the grass market.
No.
Thing. But the dog thing fitted perfect. I mean, it's a great story. I congratulate them
Oh, yeah.
on their
They've
invention.
done well.
Well, I've just realised when I met my in-laws, they had a terrier called Bobby. I don't know if it was a nod. To Greyfriars Bobby.
And they're Scottish, aren't they?
No.
Oh.
It's my family that's Scottish.
Oh,
the
yeah.
in-laws are very English.
I know it was
very
in there somewhere. I mean, I'm having a fabulous time up in Edinburgh, but I have to say, I saw 4 of the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life. In a group. I mean, in a group. I don't mean over the space of the time I've been up here.
A sketch group or just a group?
No, there were just 4...
Just a gathering.
4 young men walking down near the Omni Centre. I saw them on around about the Leith Walk area. Mm-hmm. And each of them was wearing a hooded top, hood up. And honestly, the trouble is with a hooded top, I mean, I wear a hooded top myself, as you know. I try not to get the hood up because what the hood does, it frames the facial features. And there are some facial features, it's better if they're offset by landscape and shoulders rather than you don't want to focus in on something. And these were 4. They must have been related, even though they were very similar age. They could have been quads, I suppose.
Quads?
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah. They could. They look like they might have come out of the same egg. That was.
Really
They were anticipating the arrival of a crocodile, and these 4 came. It looked. They got the hoods up. It looked like if you can imagine a post-nuclear Scottish Widows advert. But I'd love to know why they were together if they weren't related. They. Oh my God.
I think during festival you've got to just guess sketch troupe.
Do you think?
All the time, yeah.
Oh, what would they have advertised in the stage?
It was probably
Ugly
some
youths.
street theatre that you didn't even realise. They might have even been prosthetic masks.
I don't. If they did, it was a hell of a job. God, if Simon Callow took an hour and 40, I don't know what they would have taken for this. I'd say they'd taken about 15 or 16 years in makeup, God's makeup chair.
They don't sound great.
No, they had fabulous. The hoods gave them a sort of medieval. I think that they would have been, had they grown up in medieval Scotland or England, they would have been officially classified as monsters.
Well, I was swimming the other day and saw a man by the poolside with the biggest nipples I've ever seen on a human being. Seriously.
You're sure it wasn't breathing apparatus?
They were like, you know, and I know you're a fan of the coaster, you know, sometimes you see those ones that look like wood. They look like a branch that's been chopped.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were like that. They were exactly like that.
Oh,
yeah, so you're
Like
not talking
coasters
about
on
you're not talking about the protuberance. You're talking about the aureole.
the full thing, yeah. And he's just lucky that he's not a scaramanga or he'd have sank. I'm sure it would have affected his buoyancy.
No, that's
Really
I don't like the sound of that. You sure they were?
I mean, it would never occur to me to notice a man's nipples. Why would I? But they were that big. I couldn't take my eyes
It
off
makes me
them.
wonder if that hasn't been an accident or something. I wonder if
What sort of accident?
Well,
would make
he
his
might have-
area-
Bullet wounds or something.
maybe he was in Honolulu. He was in Honolulu and he thought, I'll try one of these coconut shell braziers. He'd have got hot in the sun and he's had 2 major burns then. Anyway, we draw to the end of this
Extraordinary ending.
of this show. Mark Crossley is up next. If you want to listen to more of this, yes, some people do. You can download the Not the Weekend podcast on Wednesday. we'll still be in Edinburgh next week. We're having the best time. We you know, it's fabuloso. So thank you very, very much for listening. And end of line.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.